Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us today on our webinar, A Quantum Listing Overview. I am David Perlmutter, and I am the founder and CEO of Quantum Listing, and I'm very excited to have this opportunity to uh, talk to you about quantum listing. I love audience participation, so to the extent that you are available to unmute yourself and join the conversation, we welcome that. Or you can, as an alternative, type in a message in the chat box in the lower part of your GoToMeeting control panel. Okay, so let's get started. So quantum listing is a commercial real estate listing service. And we like to say you search for free, post for less, and share everywhere. So search for free, we can show you on this first slide here that when you come to Quantum Listing as a visitor and you're not logged in, this is the page that you're going to get, or a portion of that page. And you can search in this box right here. And if you want, you can also use uh, this new part of our main landing page where you can submit a search request. And so you start out by selecting the asset type and then the trade type and hit continue, and then you'll be able to get to the rest of the form and you'll hit submit. And what happens with that form is the following. It will go to the quantum listing admin, but more importantly, it will go to an agent in the area, assuming that there is an agent in the area that has registered for our new lead capture service. And we'll talk a little bit more about that lead capture service as we get on in the webinar, but it's an exciting new feature on quantum listing and a great way for people to get buyer and tenant leads. So let's continue. So when you sign up for Quantum Listing, you get a 1 month free trial. We don't collect your payment information up front and automatically start charging members like Planet Fitness. You have to opt in to become a paying member. Signing up is very easy. You can see the sign up form here on the right hand side of the page. Just add your name, your email address, your phone number, your website if you have one, password, and then you choose between enterprise or individual membership. At the top of each page on our website, once you get past that main landing page before you've signed in, you'll see a search box at the top. If you click on this little down arrow, you'll then see the search by user icon. So you can search by location or by user if you know the user that you're looking for. So that makes it very useful. You can also search your filter to narrow your search results. So in some markets we have lots and lots of listings, and if you know you're looking for retail for sale, you can then click on asset type and deal type and select those two parameters and then hit apply filters, and it narrows it down. If you don't see anything in your initial search, you can expand the radius up to 100 miles or so. So hopefully you'll find what you're looking for here. We have probably about 17,260 plus or minus active listings right now. There's more listings that are unpublished, and the unpublished ones are generally unpublished because they've been leased or sold. Also, people archive listings instead of unpublishing them, which is also another great solution, and we'll talk about that in a little while as well. And if you have any questions, again, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat box or raise your proverbial hand and ask it. So once you join Quantum Listing, you're sent to your profile page. And in addition to running Quantum Listing, I also have a commercial real estate brokerage based in White Plains called Perlmutter Properties. And this is the Perlmutter Properties profile page on Quantum Listing. And in order to edit your profile, you click on the little pencil and paper icon above your profile picture, and that will bring you to a screen that looks like this. It's actually broken into two parts here. We very, very strongly encourage you to add a profile picture, add your website if you didn't do it when you registered, add your social media contacts, add a bio. The more information you can add about yourself, the better. One of the things that I notice when I'm looking at Google Analytics is that a lot of people, when they're searching for brokers who they know, Quantum Listing is coming up on that first page, and you want to really put your best foot forward when they're coming to your profile page so that they can know as much about you as possible and feel like they can learn about you, trust you, and hopefully engage you to help them with their commercial real estate search. I don't think we have it in one of our slides today, but there is a button on the web pages of those who sign up for lead capture that will allow you to be contacted by the person. And I'll show you that. The plan today is to go through all the slides and then go to the website. We've got a lot to cover, and I just want to make sure I don't forget anything. That's why we're doing it this way. So the other nice thing about your profile page is there's this little thing called a sharing icon on it. And if you click that sharing icon, you can then share your profile to LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. And you can also share your profile page using what's called an iframe, which is a little snippet of code that you can then embed in your website or your blog. And then your listings will get served to your website or blog from Quantum Listing. And the great thing about that is, first of all, we don't charge you extra for that. That's part of your basic service. So if you're using some of the other options out there, this can save you a ton of money. Second, when you're sharing your listings this way, if you update them on Quantum Listing, they're going to get updated on your website in real time. So you don't have to make a change here on Quantum Listing and then do something on your website. It all happens automatically at once. You can see over here that I've included our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter in my profile, as well as the website. And right here at the bottom right of the circle, you're going to see this little information symbol, and that is going to enable somebody to see your bio if you've added one. If you haven't added a bio, that symbol does not show up. But if you have a bio on your website, copy and paste it and put it here, just so that people really get that full 360-degree picture of you and who you are. Adding listings is very easy on Quantum Listing. was originally made as a uh, uh, iPhone app. So when we were planning it as an app, we wanted to make it as simple to add listings as possible. So there's a handful of things that you have to add, and then there's additional parameters that are optional. I think I'm going to mute somebody. Okay, Judith, I had to mute you. I think we're getting some background noise there. Sorry about that. Um, and Judith is asking, do you get a preview option before sending to social media? We'll show you what that looks like at the end. Before it goes out to social media, you do get to make changes. Is the short answer, but we'll show you what that looks like. Remind me if I forget. All right, so the things you have to add to your listing are a listing title. I very strongly encourage you to put the city and state in that listing title in addition to whatever else that's going to make it pop to somebody looking at it. And the reason we want you to do that is a couple of reasons. First of all, when you add a listing, we put it in a queue to send to our social media. And there's a better chance that that's going to show up on people's feeds if you're putting, or in their searches if you're putting the city and state, because if you're just putting office for rent, um, uh, it's less likely to get clicked on than if you say office for rent in Atlanta, Georgia, because an Atlanta, Georgia person is probably going to be interested in it, knowing that it's in their town versus just office for rent, which doesn't really tell them all that much. I think you have 80 characters to in that title, so make those 80 characters count. Um, you also need to add, select from the drop down whether the asset is for lease or for sale or both. There's a couple other options for folks out on the West Coast. We have, they quote rent in monthly rent per square foot instead of uh, annual rent per square foot. So you can do that if you're on the West Coast. You need to choose if it the asset type for lease or for sale, price or rent. You can leave as 0, and then it shows up as inquire. Square feet available, same thing. When you click on date available, a little calendar will pop up. I think it autofills today's date. Uh, so that is simple. The other thing that you need to add is the location. You'll start typing the location into the address box, then you'll select it from the drop-down menu. You'll see the little map appear, and that map is going to uh, show you where the location is. If you don't want to show the exact location of your listing, and there are folks who do that once in a while, you can enter an intersection. You can drag and drop the pin to someplace nearby. Uh, so that's how you handle that situation. If you are an enterprise account with multiple agents, you can select one or more agents to go with your listing. The description, add a good description here, makes it much more search engine friendly. And search engine friendliness is the name of the game on anything that's online. So please take time. You can copy and paste things from your listing flyers if you want, but make sure you add a good description. Then we have a host of additional parameters, some of which you're seeing here. If you click on this little green plus sign, these will then show up. You can add a link to your, if you have a video of it on YouTube or Vimeo, that'll show up as well. So feel free to add as much information as you want, but and then the pictures and PDFs, you can either drag and drop here or browse for them. Um, So, we encourage you to do as much. You can add a lot of pictures, uh, so don't worry about that. Uh, One of the things that um, before you finish your listing, you will see that you have to check a couple of boxes. At the bottom, they're not showing up in this slide, but those boxes are published, to publish the listing, and another one saying that you have the rights to all the information and images that you have added. Please do not take pictures from other listing services, and I think you know in particular which ones I mean, because they watermark them, and then they uh, can come after us saying, and coming after us means me and you, that you don't have the rights to these, and we take them down. Sometimes they get a little more aggressive than that, um, but that's a story for a different day. Uh, Edit, you can easily edit and archive and delete the listings, unpublish them. Also, sometimes I see people will add a listing but not publish it initially because they're still waiting to finish up any paperwork with the seller or owner of the property. So, and then when they get it signed, then they hit publish and it's ready to go. Archiving is something that I encourage people to do rather than deleting listings when they're finished, because then you can have a nice record of the deals that you've done. You can still have the private notes that you've made on any particular listing. And uh, there's another reason I like to do it. Oh, if it becomes back on the market, you can reactivate it without having to uh, uh, do all the data entry again. So, save your favorite listings for quick access. This is a great thing. When you're going through the site and you're doing a survey for somebody, there's a little ribbon, and this is something that we call a listing card. And then if you click through it, you go to the listing detail page, just to get you familiar with some of the nomenclature we'll be using. So there's this little ribbon symbol here. If you click that, it will save it to your favorites. When you go back to your profile page, when you go back to your profile page and you click on the listings menu, the submenu opens up, and that's where you'll find your saved listings. You can keep private notes on listings. This isn't just your own listings, this is the listings, any listing on the site. And you have to be a logged in, registered member of the site in order to keep those private notes. And you can also share any individual listing via email and social media. And again, you'll see the sharing icon here. It's in a red dot instead of just gray. And the more observant and social media savvy, you might see that there's still a Google Plus icon here, and also on the site. We'll be swapping that out soon for Instagram because Google Plus has gone away. So uh, that will change in the not too distant future. So I see Bill Grad is here. Hello, Bill. Thanks for joining us. And so Perlmutter Properties uses Quantum Listing to share its listing profile page to its website. Bill Grad, who joined us recently, his company, Aries Deitch and Endelson, an excellent brokerage firm based here in Westchester County. They also use Quantum Listing to serve their listings to their website. And this is what it looks like. If you click on any of the listing cards, you go to the listing detail page. And again, as I mentioned before, it makes things super easy. You can also share an individual listing to a web page, and that's what, and again, it's using iframes. So if you change it on Quantum Listing, it gets updated automatically on your website. This is what it looks like, or a portion of the page of what it looks like. If you are an enterprise account and you have numerous brokers and marketing people, you can add managers that help with the workflow. Managers have the capacity to add listings. They can add agents, and they can edit and delete those things as well. So it makes it much easier for whoever's running the shop there to have lots of people that can help with the work. And we have companies that have hundreds of listings on Quantum Listing, and it is nice to be able to spread the work around. Also for enterprise accounts, you can add as many agents as you want. And it looks something like this. So we have something called networks on Quantum Listing, and what you're looking at here is the network admin's dashboard. That's what the image is here on the left. Quantum Listing networks allow brokers in a geographic area or asset interest group to have a website dedicated to their listing. So once again, with iframes, the magic of iframes, if you have your own network, you can paste that up onto your website, and as new listings and new agents get added to your network, it grows automatically on your website. It populates with that automatically. Brokers are able to search for listings of interest with ease and efficiency in their network. Quantum Listing has also set up networks on our website for each state, and you can find those in our blog via the network directory. And the other nice thing about the networks is you can see what other brokers in your market are using Quantum Listing. If you click through to their profile, you'll be able to follow them. So if it's more interesting to you to just see what a few different people are doing rather than your entire network, you can follow them, and you'll be able to find them on the social section of your profile page on that left-hand sidebar menu. Network admins, if you're setting up your own network, and send network-wide email blasts. They also have access to network analytics, which they can distribute to their members if they so choose. All right, so let's have a look a little bit at what a network looks like from somebody observing it. So you can, I guess the other thing I want to point out about networks, when you join Quantum Listing, within the first 24 or 48 hours of you being a member, our team is going through all the new members. We assign them to a network based on their geography. So if you add listings, your geography is going to be very obvious. If you are using a Gmail account and you don't have listings, your geography may not be so obvious. We're going to take our best guess at where you belong based on your area code of your phone number. Sometimes we get it wrong. If that's the case, you just can go onto the network section, click on My Networks, search for the network you want to join, click Connect. The network admin will get a email, and they will admit you to the network. So if we get it wrong, you can leave that other network, add a new network, or request to be added to a new network. You can be a part of as many networks as you want. Some people, choose to be in a lot of networks. When you join a network, your network, your listings follow you into that network. So there's a couple of guys who are sort of gaming the system a little bit by joining networks all over, hoping that more people see their listings. So you certainly can do that, but I think it dilutes the usefulness of them a little bit, but fortunately it doesn't happen too often. All right, let's keep on going. So the other thing that's kind of neat about networks is we have this network news link on that left-hand sidebar menu, and that shows you in a heartbeat all the new things that have happened in your network. When you do look at the network listings, by the way, the newest listings are the ones that are at the top, but you do have lots of different ways that you can sort those listings to find exactly what it is that you want. Similar to networks, we have groups. We assign you to groups when you join. Typically, and the group that we're assigning you to is the state wants group. So these wants groups are sort of like bulletin boards that allow you, using our chat function, to post your wants, what you're looking for one of your clients, for instance. So there's group chats. You can also see the listings for your networks, your fellow network members. Again, another great way to sort of see what's going on, in your market. And without doing a lot of searching around or extra work, we're kind of teeing it up for you. So hopefully you'll find that useful. Any member can join any of the groups, any of the public groups or open groups. You can also, if you want, create your own private group where only you get to invite people. And then you can also, if you're creating public groups, you can choose whether you want to be able to be the only person inviting people, or whether you want your fellow group members to also have the capacity to add other members to the group. And similar to the news feed in networks, we have the group news feed, and again, that will show you the latest additions to your group, whether it's new members or new listings. It all is going to show up in the feed. And if you join a group and then have second thoughts, you can always disconnect from your group. Oh, hold on. Sorry, we don't want to. Okay, sorry. Okay. Then the next section on this left-hand sidebar menu is the social section. And in that social section, you'll be able to see who your followers are and who you're following. If you click on any of those people's name, you'll go to their profile page. You'll be able to see their listings. You'll be able to chat, start a peer-to-peer chat with them as well. So that's another handy thing. When you follow other users, you can find all their listings in the stream. And this is sort of a cumulative group of listings that all your users, and I think once again it's the most recent listings are going to show up at the top, and you have lots of ways to search and drill down to what it is that you're interested in finding. Another neat feature that you'll find in that left-hand sidebar menu is analytics. Uh, so if your membership is active, meaning not expired, you'll be able to go to your profile page, click on info, open up the submenu, click on analytics, and then go and find how many views that you've had, whether it's over the last week, a month, or all time. Also, your account views. And if you're enterprise, you get the agent views. And there's a few different other types of analytics that we keep track of for you. How many times your listings have been shared, how many times people have downloaded the PDFs that you've uploaded, or if you don't, or Quantum Listing also creates a PDF for you if you don't have your own, based on the information and the images that you've added, and we'll keep track of how many times those have been uh, downloaded or shared. And there is, well, we can look at it on the website, but when you, not for account views, but for the downloads and shares, if you hover over the little circle and the user who's been downloading or sharing your information has given permission, you'll be able to see their email address and contact them. So it's a good way to see who's interested in the stuff that you've put up here on Quantum Listing. The other neat thing, analytics-wise, that you can see on any of your listings is when you're on a listing detail page, when you've clicked through on the listing card and or looking at the detail page at the top, you'll see this view counter, and this is a cumulative count of your listing views. And one of the nice things about sharing your things, your listings via social media, is it generates more views. So we all like to see those numbers go up, and the more you work them, the more they'll work for you. So the other, there's a lot of features that we include as part of your basic membership. And on a listing detail page, you're going to see, in addition to the sharing icon, a little gray stripe that has different features. So in addition to being able to add something to your favorites at the top of a listing card, you can also add it to your favorites on a detail page. You can create an iframe snippet of any of your listings or anybody else's listings. So you can paste them into a website or blog if you want. The personal notes I mentioned earlier, I believe you can click on this pencil and paper, this pencil icon, and make a personal note on any of the listings, and you'll find those on in the info section on your profile page later. You can create surveys or listing reports by clicking on the little plus icon here. And then create a listing flyer is when you've added information and images, or someone else has, and they haven't necessarily added their own company flyer. Then they can click create a listing flyer, and Quantum Listing will create a flyer for you and download the user's flyer, fairly self-evident. Chat features. So the chat is sort of one of the great unsung features here on Quantum Listing. It allows you to chat with any individual user if you're in a what we call a peer-to-peer chat, and you can also participate in group chats with your groups. If you have a chat message waiting for you, you'll see this little icon here is lit up green. So you just click on that, and the chat menu, which is over here, opens up, and then you sort of click through to see where those chats are that are waiting for you. And if you aren't in the habit yet of checking Quantum Listing every day to see if you have chats, we got you covered, because you'll get a email reminder each evening to go and check your chats if you have chat waiting for you. In addition to being our own freestanding commercial real estate listing service, we've started building these syndication relationships with different partners. And let me tell you a little bit about those different partners. Sharp Launch and Build Out both do fantastic commercial real estate listing materials. They also help you build beautiful websites. If you are a member of Sharp Launch or Build Out, you can then choose, Build Out, you have to opt in to syndicate your listings to us at Quantum Listing. And as you make changes on Build Out, those are going to get sent over to us right away. Sharp Launch does a little bit differently. They automatically include all their members in their syndication to us, and they update their users' listings to us once a week. Levitt Digital is another great partner of ours, except they don't send us listings. You get to choose whether you want to send your listings to them. And Levitt Digital is kind of a neat company in that they have over 500 local and regional news sites throughout the country. So your listings will now be accessible if you opt into syndicating to Levitt Digital. It takes a couple minutes. You got to create an account over at Levitt Digital and then choose to syndicate. You can choose, I believe, to syndicate all or individual listings with them. And then, once you set it, you forget it, and hopefully it gets your listings some more views. CRE Collaborative is our newest syndication partner, new company, and we have sort of a two-way information flow with them. We are basically their commercial real estate listing platform, and what they have, among other things, is the ability to enrich your data. They're about to turn this feature on. Right now, we're sending them listings for people who opt in to have their listings shared on the CRE Collaborative site. Again, you have to create an account there. You choose whether or not you want all or just some of your listings to go over there. And in the not too distant future, you'll be able to decide whether or not you want to have your quantum listing data enriched by CRE Collaborative. What do I mean by enriched? They will provide information that you and I don't necessarily have at the tips of our fingertips, such as block and lot number, maybe some ownership information things, some history, and I encourage you to check them out as well. Sharp Launch, I believe, is sharplaunch.com. Buildout.com. Levitt Digital is ldcre.com, and CRE Collaborative is creco.ai. But and we'll have a couple of new things coming down the pike pretty soon that we're pretty excited about, but don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So on our website, at the top of every page, you will notice this schedule a demo button. And if you can't wait to our Wednesday webinar to talk with me or somebody else from our team, you can always schedule a demo, and there's lots of different options there on that demo page. There's like a 10-minute profile tune-up where we just help you out a little bit with how to add that profile picture and social media links if you need help with that. You can get a hands-on half-hour or 1-hour demo where we make you the presenter and we're talking you through the different features so that you really feel like you're getting comfortable with them. And to the extent that you are um, in uh, in control of it, your hands on the keyboard, you learn best, I think, by doing. So it's a great way to learn. I see that our syndication partner, Andreas Senni, has joined us today. So if you want to unmute yourself and say hello and give us a 2-minute pitch on CRE Collaborative, Andreas, please feel free.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, David, for such a nice introduction and being a CRE collaborator and partner. As David mentioned, we effectively are a data warehouse and augmentation service, a place that will hold your core data and enhance it for you. So if you use Quantum, and if you don't, you should be. That exchange comes to us. We then add to the data and give it back to Quantum or give it back to you, and can then push it wherever you need it as a user. So we not only augment your data, but help you connect to the leading technology providers like Sharp Launch, like Quantum, Levitt. Build out pushes out, not in. But in today's environment, it's your data. It is of value, and you're going to need it to be in certain places across your transaction cycle. And that's where we come in. We're Switzerland. We can help you move that data and align your business and your technology to maximize your close rate, your returns. So once again, David, thank you for including us and as an internet listing portal. And this is what we do all day is review technologies. David's portal is top notch. So we're happy to be that partner.
And another one of the services that Andreas offers is that if your company is building out your commercial real estate tech stack, they will evaluate what you have and tell you what might be missing and how you can augment what you're using to help you close more deals in less time.
That's exactly right. There 3 years ago, there were 500 technologies. Now there are 6,870 plus. And you shouldn't know that as real estate professionals, but we do. And we will listen to your business problems, provide an assessment and a recommended toolbox, and then go so far as to connect that toolbox for you. And you're obviously already in the right place being at this webinar. Now the only question is, well, what about your CRM? What about your inventory management? What about your marketing or social? And what about accounting? All of those things represent redundant tasks or places where human error can misrepresent the numbers. And by using a service like ours, we can connect all the data, giving you a source of truth, so everything moves exponentially faster and is more accurate. So at the end of the day, your business decisions are then more accurate and much faster, which means more money for you, more money for your clients, and less cost, less waste, and more business.
All right. Well, thank you. All right. We're going to move right along because I want to make sure that we bring this airplane in on time so that you can go back to your daily schedule. So we talked about scheduling a demo. We also have these weekly webinars. We've been alternating the webinars with haves and wants 2.0 marketing sessions. And so these are terrific events and a great way for you to present the commercial real estate listings that you have for sale. We've been breaking them down into sort of themed days. So one day it'll be your industrial properties for sale, and 2 weeks after that it's going to be your retail for sale. Then 2 weeks after that, get multifamily for sale. This way, you're not going to be wasting your time on an asset class that you don't have any inventory or interest in. Although they're well worth participating, even if you don't have that. First of all, you have clients who may be interested, and secondly, a great way to network with people throughout the country. If anybody on this has participated in them, uh, you know that you're going to meet somebody who's very knowledgeable about what it is they do. Uh, you know, sometimes we get some really interesting uh, little sidebar conversations going. We had one recently about opportunity zones, so they're really terrific to put in there. Uh, all right, and Andreas left us a parting note, or I don't know if it's parting, but he did leave us a note just reminding you to connect your quantum listing account to creco.ai. Depending on what level of service you're getting, there is no charge for you to make that connection and push out your listings to them so you can get even more exposure than you're just getting here on Quantum Listing. But we do record the Have Some Wants 2.0 sessions, so if you can't watch it in real time, you can watch the playback. We do allow you to send in your listings or tell us what listings you want us to promote on your behalf if you can't make it to the session. So um, it really is a great thing in general. So Quantum Listing Academy is what you're seeing on our next slide here. This is our series of emails that gives you short and actionable tips on how to use our website, one short daily lesson at a time. So these emails are designed in these lesson plans, if you will, so that you can learn one thing, try it yourself, and the whole thing should take you less than 5 minutes. So they're little bite-sized ways for you to get really familiar with quantum listing. So you can also, in addition to, if you, because our original members were not put through the academy, if you're one of those, part of the OG, I believe is the term. If you're not part of the OG, you can ask to be included on the Academy mailing list, and you'll get, I think, 12 or 15 different lessons sent to you on business days. You can also find those listings in our How It Works section in the Quantum Listing Academy category on the right-hand side. So lead capture, we mentioned earlier, a new feature of ours, which we're super excited about. When people land on our website for the first time, they, assuming they're not coming via a Google search directly to your listing, which does happen a lot, they can go to this landing. They'll go to this landing page, and they can start their. They can enter just a regular search, which will bring them to your listing, or they can submit a search request. And so what happens when they submit a search request here is it's setting up two things. One, if you are a lead capture subscriber, that's just $10 a month, um, you will get an email for uh, that lead and it will also be distributed to your lead section on your profile page. And that lead section is in the info section on the left-hand sidebar. If there are multiple members who have enrolled in lead capture in a particular geographic area, they'll be distributed on a rotating sort of round robin basis, so we keep it as fair as possible. So if you are smart, and I know you guys are all smart, you'll be among the early adopters of lead capture so that you can get as many leads before the word gets out and lots of other people join that. All right, so here is a sample of the lead capture on the landing page, on the main page, and people will tell you what they're looking for in terms of asset class and transaction type. They'll give us a range of sizes, minimum, maximum size, an ideal move-in date if it's applicable, um, and then of course they have to submit their information and give their consent. They also need to specify the geographic area, and they can also add additional information so that you know a little bit better about what it is they are looking for, so you can be even more helpful and prepared when you do contact them. And if you have listings, then you'll see a slightly different lead capture form, which looks like this one. It's going to show, and only you are going to get leads that come from your own listings. So the form initially shows up as a pop-up on after somebody's clicked into one of your listings. Uh, it doesn't show until about 15 seconds into their viewing. Uh, so they've had some time to decide whether this is a listing that is of particular interest to them. Again, you get an email notification, and you can also find those leads on the info section on your profile page. And this is also part of that $10 a month fee that we are asking you to pay. It's a lot less than some of the other services out there. Uh, People can still contact you via your contact information, which is on the site. So it's not like you have to do this, but we encourage you to do it because not only are you getting serious, interested people contacting you or asking you to contact them, um, you're getting those leads from the main landing page as well. I know I spend more on coffee each month than I spend, than that $10. So coffee is nice, making more deals nicer. Maybe it's just me. All right. So another thing that we're adding soon is some Google cost per click advertising. So compared to most other listing services, quantum listing is really, really inexpensive. And there are lots of ways that we keep our costs down. And one of them is not spending uh, a lot of money on cost per click advertising. Uh, but we didn't want you to feel like you're at a disadvantage. And also, we don't want you to have to learn yet another thing or have another thing that is on your to-do list, manage advertising on Google. So what we're about to introduce, and this is, I think, going live in the next day or so, certainly by next week, is this Google cost per click advertising. So you'll be able to decide how much you want to spend. Or initially, we're having three different plans, either $50, $100, or $200. You can choose 1 to 10 individual listings, or you can choose to advertise all of your listings. You select the geographic area where you want those to go. You can do multiple listing plans. So if you feel like your listings, want, need more action, and you're willing to invest a little bit of money in it, we make it dead easy for you to do it. Our system and our team does all the work in terms of like setting it up for you. All you have to do is, pay whatever you want to pay to advertise them. So, the lead capture and Google CPC advertising really ought to work very neatly together because you are, to use a fishing metaphor, chumming with the advertising, and you're scooping them up in a net with a lead capture. I really don't like fishing, but that's a different story. Um, but I do like making commercial real estate deals, and I think this is going to help our users tremendously. So if you are not already a member and do not know what quantum listing costs, uh, for an individual or enterprise user, it's $79 a year per person. Uh, if you are an individual user, you can take a quarterly subscription instead, or even a monthly subscription. If you're adding lead capture, that's $10 a month on top of that. Right now, it's set up so you're just paying 1 month at a time. There's a couple reasons we're doing that. One, we want to make sure you like it and don't want you to have to make a big commitment to something that you're not really ready for. Uh, and also, to be honest, it gives us some flexibility in raising the pricing of it if it works. So get it now while you can. You can, if you buy multiple months now at the $10 price, it gets added on. So uh, it might be a good investment for you. If you need additional help, we have that How It Works section. You can schedule the demo. We have an intercom button on the bottom of almost all the pages on the website that you click that, type in your message, and it goes to us and we'll respond as soon as we see it. And of course, you can send an email to support at Quantum Listing. Um, so if I'm going to open up the floor to all of you who might have questions, anybody, you can put them in the chat box. And while we are waiting for anybody who uh, is shy, here's my contact info, by the way. Let's see if we can hop over to the website for a couple minutes. And again, I do want you to be able to go back to uh, work and whatever else you have to do this afternoon as soon as possible. So this is the Perlmutter Properties profile page. Andrea says, so your pricing is less than 1/10 compared to other services? Yes, it is. Great question, Andreas. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of lead capture, there's a couple other services that offer lead capture too, and some of them charge up to $500 a month. So, we're giving you an incredible deal. So, hopefully, you'll take advantage of it. And so here's the left-hand sidebar menu. Judith, you wanted to know about what it looks like when you're sharing via social. Uh, so what's going to happen is my profile is going to be shared. So I have sharing a post, or I can send it as a private message to somebody. This is LinkedIn, by the way. So I'm just going to write check out my listings, and one of the neat things that LinkedIn started doing is adding these hashtags for you. So, and then you just post it, and you can see your post once it's done. Another question is, and you have Google AdWords integration, which is unique to our service. I believe it is. Man, yes, good questions, Andreas. It is unique to our service. I don't know of anybody else doing it. I think what happens in other services, everybody is, not everybody, most other services are advertising your stuff on Google cost per click. The difference here is you're in control. You choose what listings you want. You choose the budget. It's not like a one size fits all. I got to pay $3,000 a year for the service. So, we're giving you much more customization and a much better economic deal for that. So it seems like a no-brainer to me. But hey, I built the thing, so. But I'd love to know what you guys think about it. So this is what it looks like to share a post on LinkedIn. And if you tag me, David Perlmutter, or Quantum Listing on any of your social posts, I will try to see them and reshare them so they get even further distribution. Some of the other things on that left-hand sidebar that we mentioned. Okay, so analytics. So you can see, and then you can look at it in different parameters. You can include the archived listings. That seems to maybe need a little tweaking. Account views is also an awesome one. And this, a lot of times these account views, these are coming straight from Google searches on your name or your company. So that's kind of cool to see that. Agent views, profile shares. So a lot of good information here. And this is listing promotion. Is you're going to be able to see analytics on this on your analytics page, and you'll also be able to download a spreadsheet. So, oh, let's see. I've got a chat. Let's have a look. Oh, it's from Julia. Julia says hi. Well, I'm going to say hi back because I'm a friendly guy. Okay. Then I hit enter. Okay. And you can add users to your chat as well. All right. So let's go back to our profile page. And last thing I'm going to show you before we say goodbye is lead capture. And this is where you find it. It looks like I've got 2 leads that I need to respond to. So yay, it's working. Now, before we go and say goodbye, I want to invite any of you who are listening now and watching now or in the future, but before ICSC Recon, to join Quantum Listing at any of these 3 wonderful things. On Sunday of ICSC at 5 p.m. at the Aria Sports Bar, in conjunction with the broker list and the news funnel and a host of other wonderful people, we're hosting a meetup at the Aria Sports Bar, 5 o'clock, ICSC Recon. Monday and Tuesday, if you're a Quantum Listing member and you're there, we invite you to use our booth as if it were your booth, which isn't to say we want you to park yourself at a table and monopolize it, but when you have meetings, etc., please use our booth as a landmark. We do have extra table space for our members, so please avail yourselves of that. And then on Wednesday, if you're not traveling on Wednesday, we're having our 3rd annual Let's Get Smart speaker series. Incredible lineup of speakers that will be there with us and making Wednesday into an incredibly interesting day. And you can contact me for more information about any of those 3 things. And of course, if you do attend, I'll get to meet you in person, which I would love to do. I love meeting our members. All right, that is all for today. Thank you so much. We did run a little bit over, but I'll stick around. I'm going to pause the recording, but I'll stick around and